is got issues that are questionable about him. So you sure you're not part of the wrong? He said, no. Cat is, I know him as a clean guy, he's my brother. Even if you check the phone communication between me and him, we are brothers. So I had no reason not to believe the head of the Hawks in KZN when he tells me this, that Cat is just a brother. I finished the conversation, I talked to Khumalo, I said, Snona has this close relationship with Cat. Maybe when we check the downloads of Cat, we must run the Snona's phone and see if there's any communication between them. So that's how the extract of the communication and the relationship between Cat and Snona was discovered, because it's Snona that disclosed the relationship between him and Cat. Fast forward from there, Snona comes to me and he says, hey, you remember the guy I told you about, Cat Nhlanhla? I said, yeah. He said, that guy's got a contract in the police of health contract. But he's struggling because police are not placing orders. Now he wants to reach out to talk to the end user, which is Nhlanhla. And when they establish the people that can link him with Nhlanhla, they discover that you're the one of our entire management of the SAPS, you're the one that is closest to Nhlanhla. Can you arrange a meeting? So now I said to Snona, but why must I arrange a meeting for Cat Nhlanhla and Nhlanhla? For what reason? And he says, no, but looks like Cat has an information that can assist Khumalo and the team with their investigation in Gauteng. So that what drew my attention, and I said, but he's got information. What information? He said, no, the role that's be a place in this whole criminality happening in Gauteng. So that got me excited. And I said, okay, well, we'll confirm the meeting. From there, I then contacted Jara Khumalo. I said, Jara Khumalo, this is what I'm aware of. Must we have this meeting? So we agreed, no, let's have the meeting. But let's control the venue where the meeting is. And let's wire the place so that you can record everything happening in the meeting. Hence the flat. That we had to discard, get a flat, a place where we can go in, nobody can trace us. Anything happening there can be on record. I was hoping the day that Cat is going to say he gave me money, because I was going to come and show you that there was never anything handed. I'm glad he didn't, because there was nothing. So the meeting then is arranged, and I go back to Snona, I said, tell him to come. Then Jaros Snona invite him to come. And I said to Snona, I know this guy moves around with bodyguards. When he comes to see me, he must be alone and you, just the two of you, nobody else. So you're going to pick him up, or you pick him up, you're going to bring him to me. Then he said, okay, we're going to meet at Mkhwanazi. The meeting is going to be around Mkhwanazi. They met at the hotel. Mr. Adams is not here. I'm sure he's watching at home. Oyster Box. Oyster Box is a very expensive hotel in Durban. That is where they met. Cat and Snona. Whether inside the hotel or at the parking, I was not there, but they met at the hotel. Because after that, Snona, first time I saw Snona driving a Polo car. You know, this one is driven by these Uber boys, the small car, VW. Snona was driving that car. He called me, he said, I'm with Cat. We are driving this Polo. We are getting out of Oyster Box. So I said, okay, come up because I'm in the vicinity. He gave me the description of the car. I spotted the car. Then I said, okay, I see I'm driving this car in front of you, the Mercedes-Benz. Can you see it? He said, yeah, no, we can see it. I said, okay, follow me. So I drove them down towards Pavilion, not Beverly Hills Hotel, around into Pels. There's a parking at the bottom there for those that knows Mkhwanazi, towards the beach. So we enter in there, into the boom gate. I show my face, the boom gate opens. I go in, I tell the security to open for him. They open for them, and they followed me. Some 50 meters, we park, we walk, we get out of the cars, we walk into the lift, into your apartment. Honorable Chair, that apartment from where we're seated in a three-seater dining room table, a glass table, can only seat 3 people. Where I'm sitting, at least a meter, is the wall. Behind me, a meter, it's another wall. On this side, it's a lounge that will be at least maybe about where Honorable Skosana is seated. That's where the TV is. And on that corner, on that side, which is a good 4 meters or so, is an entrance into the apartment. And on my right, open plan, Honorable Chair, up to where the podium is, which roughly about 4 meters or so, is the sink at the end of the kitchen. So for Snona to say he was busy drinking somewhere, he couldn't hear anything. When we are here, you're talking, a person on TV, a person here can hear everything. It's just the three of us, nobody else there. So we said, we spoke. That's when he then gave me this information. The information is about Steve Mutsume. Steve Mutsume is a name that the 68 million people, excluding the independent podcasters, they are the ones that got guts to talk about Steve Mutsume. The rest of media houses in South Africa don't want to research about that person. It's a name that has come out so many times, Steve Mutsume. He told me about Steve Mutsume. He gave me the address of the house of Steve Mutsume. He told me about activities of Spear, how the Spear is collecting money. He told me about the property of Spear that I didn't know. He gave me the address. He told me about the impalas he bought for Spear. This is all coming from CAD voluntarily. I don't have a clue about all these things. The properties in a townhouse in Sentin. So I take note of all these things. And then he asked one thing, but the other one was just a comment which we couldn't do much about it. The first one was, I've got this contract. I've got so many people that I should be paying that I haven't paid, but the police not placing an order. Can you get Gerald Mkhwanazi to meet up with me so we can discuss and get to hear what is the issue? Then I said, well, I'll talk to Gerald Mkhwanazi, but I don't know anything about the contract, but I'll talk to her. The feedback will come to Snon. That is one. Two, what is the next thing? The next thing is that I hear that there's investigation in Gauteng on an attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend. What is happening on that? I said, no, don't ask me that question. I'm not in Gauteng, I'm here. I can't even answer any question. If you have issues with it, Gerald Snona is your brother, must talk to Gerald Commando and establish what is the issue there. That's how the meeting ended. We left. After leaving, I pick up the phone, I call Gerald Commando. I said, Gerald Commando, this is information. Here's the address of Mr. Mutsume. Mr. Mutsume has got a house, standalone house somewhere in Sentin. I just don't know the address now with my, which I can say, but from the American High Commission in Sentin, for those that know Sentin, if we drive down towards the western side, but we go down the road, Steve Mutsume's house is there, the one that he alleges to be Steve Mutsume. It's a very big house. It's there, because I saw it on Google. He came in, he said, that's a house where Spear collects money. Because I was not satisfied with the information about Spear, he says Spear collects money there, but using the police vehicle and the police driver. And mine to him was, Spear cannot be arrested then, because when you arrest him, he's going to say the money belongs to a driver, not to him. But if he uses a police car to go there, we'll be able to get that on investigation. We need more information about Spear. He said, no, he paid 2 million rand towards his plot. He bought him impalas. All the Impala stories came with me, but nobody asked, how do I come up with Impala story? It's because of that meeting. When I spoke about these Impalas, I just did not elaborate where I got the stories of the Impalas in details. But the Impalas come with Cat. The townhouse. Cat says he didn't even know about the townhouse himself, but another foreigner told him about the townhouse. He went to see the townhouse. He saw Spear's cars there. He confirmed, but Cat did not know about the townhouse. So he told me all these stories about Spear, Steve Mutsume, and that fact that Steve Mutsume's property is at Waterfall Estate in Midrand. I've never been to Waterfall Estate.
Anyway, Honorable Sangwana.
Thank you, Chair. Now, I just wanted us to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Adams. I think Honorable Adams left the TV so he could be here himself. Thank you, Chair.
General Mkhwanazi.
Yes, sir.
Behind Honorable Skosana. Behind Honorable Skosana is seated Honorable Adams.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. At least I see him now. I can talk directly.
I was going to ask a question. Mr. Mutsume, is he also alleged to be one of the Big Five?
I had said, Honorable Chair, with respect, Councillor, as a legal person, you'll know that we cannot, as police, pronounce of people that are not before court. But it's a character that the police officers are afraid to even call his name. It's a character that even the judge at the Nhlanhla Commission was concerned about the police being so afraid. It's a person that I spoke this morning to Sergeant Kosi, who was sending the communication between me and him to the very same person. So Steve Mutsomi is such a character. I'll leave it there. I don't want to go into details. You can read between the lines.
Yeah. Now, when Mr. Nhlanhla conveyed the fact that there was this meeting that's now a fact that took place between you and him at the Pearl's apartment, his evidence was that he was going to the meeting, brokered by Sonono, but it was going to be in exchange for information that he would give you. You were particularly keen or interested in hearing information about Lieutenant General Sabia, and in return, the quid pro quo for him that motivated him to go to that meeting was that you would assist him with the Medicare contract, which was now being stalled because he wasn't getting any purchase orders. And you, the one who knows Lieutenant General Nkua, who's in charge of the supply chain management.
Yeah, well,
Now that sounds quite plausible, even from what you're telling us.
yeah, well, he was frustrated with the contract. That's why he approached Nona. But in my memory serves me well, it does not say that it's Nona that arranged the meeting. He says it's General Cele. That's a lie that he told. He wanted to protect Nona. But it's Nona that facilitated the meeting. So the meeting was held as per his request. Obvious, when the meeting was held is because I'd already spoken to Khumalo about the investigation they're busy with and the purpose of what the meeting is all about. So the meeting is then held. I said he then, after sharing this information about Sbia and Steve Mutsomi, he then tells me about his contract that he wants to take Jaron Hua. I said, I'll talk to Jaron Hua, but the feedback I'll give it to Snona because I don't know you. I'm not going to talk to you. That's one. Two, I had said to both of them, Snona and Kurt, that the information you're giving me about Sbia, I don't think is sufficient enough to get Sbia arrested. Yes, we're going to investigate the issue of the impalas that you paid for him, but the least can ever happen if we don't have any criminal linkage is that maybe he didn't declare that at workplace. It can only be a departmental thing because he would have received it as a gift. If you have contributed 2 million rand to his property when he bought his property, and again, is it a loan or what is it between the two of them? So the information you're giving me is not strong enough to say Sbia has done these criminal activities. But he kept on saying, no, Sbia is a dangerous man. He controls a lot of things there, investigations and the likes. But I wanted something tangible. Then he says, no, well, we'll arrange something tangible to give it to you. Then I said, but don't give it to me, give it to Khumalo because the investigation is in Gauteng. And I can tell you, Honorable Chair, that subsequent to that meeting, after giving feedback to Jaro Khumalo, Snona made a contact with Jaro Khumalo, and Snona sent one of the TPCI members to go and give a statement to Jaro Khumalo and the team about the corruption that Jaro Sibia is involved with. And Jaro Khumalo can attest to that because the statement was given subsequent to that meeting. So that's what I'm trying to explain, how this, me getting to know Kat existence, the story about Nangi, and the meeting with Kat, the purpose of the meeting and the outcome of the meeting, where the meeting was held, all that, I wouldn't have came here and said, Kat told me A to Z, because I was going to be putting his life in danger. I was going to be compromising the very same investigations that are happening. So I did not invite him. He asked to meet me, and Jaron Hua did talk to her about that. She can attest to that, and it ended there.
Is it quite normal or is it usual for a person in your position or perhaps any police officer investigating a case to meet with someone who is either known or is suspected to be involved in criminal activities, especially the ones seriously alleged about Nhlanhla, in exchange for information? Because by now, before that April meeting, you must have known there were articles about him in the News 24. There were issues around in fact, this very tender where he is seeking you perhaps to intervene and to assist.
in meeting Cat, was Cat coming to give information that is going to assist with the investigation in Pretoria or in Gauteng specifically. So a police officer will meet a person who's providing information, not meeting Cat to socialize and party. I'm meeting Cat because he wants to come and give information. So I've met a lot of people that are, some of them in custody, arrested, and some of them not arrested yet. Some of the people come up front and say, I was part of a crime. I'm here to give you the facts. And they give facts and they incriminate themselves, and we take it to the prosecution, and there's negotiations done, there's less sentences and so forth. So that is part of the investigation. That's why I'm saying that investigation is not in KZN. So when Nona approaches me with that information, I paused him and I said, I don't deal with things here in KZN of CAT. All these investigation of CAT and Gauteng. So let me first verify with a person in Gauteng. That's why I engage with Jared Kumalo and the team. When they say it's fine, I can meet him, that's when I confirm to meet him. Otherwise, I was not going to meet him because I was not going to do anything with the information that he was giving.
Just to round off on this aspect, what is it that you want to highlight in this WhatsApp exchange with Sonona?
What then happened, Honorable Chair and members, is that last year I'm attending an Interpol conference in Morocco. While I'm in the conference, I received a communication that Kat Nhlanhla is talking about the meeting me and him had in Paris, in Devon. And for me, I was shocked to say this is a person who was snitching to his own people, but he's the one who's introducing the meeting. So I found it interesting. But because I don't communicate with Kat, I then communicate with the person that brought Kat to me. I phoned Jarasno. Jarasno didn't answer the phone. I called again, he didn't answer the phone. I then called Jared Kumar, because remember, Jared Kumar knows about this. I phoned Jared Kumar and said, hey, I'm trying to reach Snona because I'm told Kat is talking about the meeting we had, although he's twisting what the purpose of the meeting was, but he's talking about the meeting that we had. And Kumala then says to me, he just laughed it off. He said, you know what? I don't think Snona is going to answer because Nona is scheduled and then he was going to get caught. I don't know how he came to know. Maybe the media that communicated it. Nona is scheduled to appear before the Nhlanhla Commission on the same day that Kat Nhlanhla is supposed to appear before this committee. So which means the two of them will have most likely spoken against each other if both of them were in these two committees simultaneously. So Snona might have thought, let me excuse myself at the Nhlanhla Commission so I can listen to this one. So he was excused at Nhlanhla Commission. That's why he did not present last year. He only went there this year. So when I call him, he's not answering. Then Kumalo says perhaps he's not answering because he knows what his friend is talking about in prison. So then I thought, okay, if they're going to try and make up the story, let me write something to him so that he can be on record. I wrote him a WhatsApp message. And I told him about how he used to tell me about Kat, how he knows Kat, how he facilitated the meeting, what was discussed in the meeting, how he exposed his syndicates that he operates with, including Jarasbia, in that meeting. But then I closed my message by saying, I'm still going to go to the auto committee and I'm going to come and present this thing on record. I left him like that. Today, Jaros Nono, who's my colleague, who works in the same building with me, who talks to me anytime he wants to, has never called me, has never walked into my office, has never confronted me about that call and the message I sent him. Until in January, when it was a week or two before he goes to the Nhlanhla Commission.
And then his lawyers, and this letter is in the exhibit bundle. There's a letter that his lawyers write to you on the 9th of January. It appears as if the meeting was also recorded.
The lawyers write.
Have you got the letter?
Yes, I do have. Yeah. Well, I know what I wrote there without even having to worry, but it's part of the exhibits.
Or maybe just while you're looking to find it, this is from Rudolph Beloy Inc. We act for Major General Lesetja Senona. It's dated 9 January. We refer to the WhatsApp communication on 26 November 2025, which you addressed to Major General Sonona, wherein you claim to be in possession of a recording of a meeting held between Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and Usumuzi Kat Nhlanhla on 15 April 2025 at the Pearls Hotel in Nhlanhla. Our client accompanied Mr. Nhlanhla to the meeting. They also attached a copy of the WhatsApp communication. The WhatsApp communication came after Mr. Nhlanhla's appearance and testimony at Parliament's ad hoc committee to investigate allegations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on 26 November. Major General Sonona considers the tone and content of the WhatsApp communication to be threatening and intimidating. In the said communication, you state that Mr. Nhlanhla, by disclosing the meeting of 15 April at the ad hoc, invited you to make the recording public, and that in so doing it will put Mr. Nhlanhla's life at risk. In the course of consulting with and preparing our client's response to the Nhlanhla Commission, I'm just stating it briefly, Rule 33, notice dated 9 October 2025, it became apparent that the recording you allege to be in possession of is essential to Major General Sonona for the purposes of finalizing his response to the Nhlanhla Commission, which is due on 16 January 2026. In the circumstance where we hereby instructed to demand, we hereby do that you furnish the office with a copy of the alleged recording between the meeting between yourself and Mr. Nhlanhla on or before the 13th of January.
Yeah, no, that is correct. The lawyers on the 9th of January wrote me this letter. What I'm grateful for is that they had attached the WhatsApp that I wrote to Gerald Sonona. Honorable Chair, when I wrote, after writing this WhatsApp, I forwarded the same WhatsApp to the Senior Council for record, so that the Senior Council is aware of what's developing. And I think it will have happened when someone was I don't know what case was, or was during Nhlanhla's time, I don't know. But I did send it.
Yeah, it was while we were at Hosimapur.
Yeah, I did send this WhatsApp. In this WhatsApp, Honorable Chair members, without having to repeat everything that is written here, what is of an interest on the WhatsApp, if I were to summarize, is what I said earlier. The information that Kat Nhlanhla was giving me about Mutsumi, Steve Mutsumi. I still don't know how the name surname is written, but the pronunciation, it says that. Steve Mutsumi and Jarasbia, and the property in Sentin somewhere, or properties, and the property in Waterfall Estate, and the property in Centurion, and the Imbalas, and everything else. This is information coming from Kat Nhlanhla in the presence of Jarasinon, his brother. They are sharing this information to me. After writing this, Sonona had never confronted me about it until the lawyer sent me this. And the lawyers, if the honorable members were to check, they are not interested in disputing the content of this. The lawyer's interest is to finding out whether do I have this recording that I say I have. They're interested in the recording. They want to find the recording. I did not respond. In me not responding to them, Jairus Sonona then goes to the Nhlanhla Commission. He says he was drinking during the meeting. I had invited the Nhlanhla Commission to go to the same pairs to go and investigate what time did we come in, what time did we leave, what will have got Sonona drunk. He was driving a car coming in, for him not to hear what he's talking about. Inspection in local to be done in that apartment, so you can be able to see how far is this kitchen that Sonona said he kept going down, up and down, where he couldn't hear, because I've demonstrated how big the place is, or how small the place is. So what was interesting for me is that when Sonona, after writing this thing, he copied the Nhlanhla Commission, which was a good thing for me. I had not presented to them because we did not discuss it there. I presented to the SC because Kat Nhlanhla spoke about it here. So when the Nhlanhla Commission became aware of this, they contacted me about this, and they had to lead Sonona on his testimony at Nhlanhla Commission, which include this WhatsApp. When it was time for Sonona to read out the names of the people that they were snitching on, him and Kat Nhlanhla, he refused. He was afraid. His lawyer said, you can Google it and go back on the record of Nhlanhla Commission. his lawyer said, these people are very dangerous. That Nona cannot read out their names. One of the very dangerous people in this message is Gerald Sibia. These are words from Gerald Snona with his lawyer that he cannot read out his name. I'm the author of the WhatsApp. His was only to read the WhatsApp because he did not write it. I wrote it. But because he knows the content that is the fact, he's afraid to read out the names because this Mutsume is going to know that Snona and Kat, they were snitching on him. Therefore, he might have to deal with him somehow. That was the only reason that made Sinona be afraid to read. That took the judge at the Nhlanhla Commission to overrule and forced him to read the names. So he read the names under duress before the Nhlanhla Commission. So, honorable members, this is a clear indication that the content of what is discussed at Paris, I put it on the WhatsApp that will be read by Snona, and Snona was afraid to read them. If he didn't know Mutsome, if he didn't know how dangerous beer is, what would have made him to be afraid to read this? Because this was the actual fact of what we discussed on the day. So that's what I was giving it to him, that he must not lie before the commission, because that's what the meeting is about. In actual fact, I preface this WhatsApp by saying, if I were to quote, you made arrangement that I meet this guy, Kat, because he's your friend and brother, and he needed my help to speak to Jaran Hua to place orders on his contract. I don't hide that. It's there because that was a main thing that he wanted to come to me. And then he volunteered an information about a house in Sentin where Sbia collects money using the state vehicle, and that he, Kat, paid over 2 million rand towards Sbia's purchase of a plot. And he also told me about Sbia's townhouse. The fact that he's the one who introduced this meeting at the committee, so I go on and say, he invites me to come and make this information available before this committee. And he therefore must not accuse me. That's what I say on the almost another paragraph. I hope you won't blame me for risking his life because I have to tell the truth about our meeting. I was well aware when they were giving me this information that they were snitching on their crew. And one of their crews, it's Gerald Sibia and Steve Mutsumi.